You know, we all like things, right? We all like stuff. We like stuff we put on a list, on a resume. We like stuff we can hold in our hands. We like things that make us feel good, that make us feel happy in the moment. There was an experiment done on rats, and I can't tell you the exact details of the experiment, but what I can tell you is that they put individual rats in a cage, and they said, all right, the rat's got the same amount of food, every rat's got the same amount of food, they got a little hamster wheel, they got bedding. The only difference is, some of the rats, they just had a little pipette giving them water. There's another section of rats that had that same thing of water, and then another one beside it. Another one beside it, you hit a switch, okay? The water, it would give them water, but the water was laced with nicotine. So in order for the rat to get water from any of these things, they'd have to press a button. So they had to learn that skill. So they taught them the skill. And then they took the second group and they started giving those rats nicotine. And they had the choice of regular water or nicotine. So what do you think they did? Well, the rats soon figured out they like nicotine a little bit more. They'd press it once, they'd get their high, they'd walk around, they'd be little happy little rats. But then pretty soon, the scientists started to notice that the rats they were drinking a lot more than the rats that just had normal water. Okay? So eventually, what the scientists started to do is they started to say, all right, the rats are drinking this water laced with nicotine, so now they have to press the button twice. Then they have to press it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Sometimes they just make it random. So what would happen to the rats? They'd scurry around. They'd beat themselves against the cages. They'd chew on themselves, try and get this nicotine, because they're pressing the button with the little rat paws going ch-ch-ch-ch-ch. Nothing's coming out. Going crazy. What would the regular rats do? Getting water. That was it. They lived happy little rat lives. So talking about things, we all like things, right? We all like stuff. We all like stuff that makes us feel good. And I was definitely one of those people. Some of us value beauty. Some of us value grades. Some of us value stuff you can put on a resume. Some of us like power. And I was the kind of person, I grew up a little bit powerless. Or at least I felt powerless all the time. I felt like I had no control over my life. From my childhood, into middle school, into high school, and even when I came, well, obviously when I came to the Citadel and I shaved my head off, I kind of lost a little bit of power that day. But we all want those things, and that's fine. It's fine to want things. But then sometimes we want them too much. We want them so much to become like that nicotine. And it feels good the first couple times that your cadre tells you, yeah, good job, hell yeah, shine your brass. You shine your brass, shine your shoes, you actually look good today. It's nice the first time you get back a good grade on a test. It's nice when you get a good PT score, when you finally pass or you max it or do something. But what happens? You're pressing that button, trying to get satisfaction. But then sometimes it's never enough. Sometimes you're saying, well, I got a good grade on this test, but I didn't get a good grade on this test. And your whole world is brought down because of that one thing. 99 people praise you, 1 criticize you. You're going to remember the one that criticized you. Well, it's the same thing with ourselves. We remember the one thing, eventually. And I was like that rat. The rats that had nicotine last year. As a knob. It's all I was obsessed with is, eventually I started obsessing over, well, I could get this, I did this right, but I had a little ding on my brass, therefore this day is a failure. Today sucks. Went to second semester, and I had done pretty good things first semester, but I went to second semester thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna blow everything I did first semester out of the water. And what happened? Just pressing the button, nothing was coming out. Because nothing I ever did was good enough. Nothing I ever did really made me happy on the inside. Nothing ever satisfied me. There was never enough nicotine. The button didn't always work. 99% of the time it didn't work. Because people could praise you all day long. But all I started to remember was, well, this person said this one negative thing. Or I had this one negative thing that I thought that day. And that was it. Became depressed, became bitter, became tired. Started staying up really super late. What did I get for it? What did I get out of it? I had to think about this over the summer. So there's a reason I'm giving this speech as my very first speech sophomore year. I said no other speech will come before this one because this speech is not just me saying, oh, this is my experience. This is me making a promise. It's a commitment that I'm telling to all of you from me. that commitment is, well, there's something greater than these things you put on a resume. There's something greater than just getting competent communicator. You know, my impression of competent communicator last year was, oh, I'm just going to knock out 10 speeches, I'm going to have that competent communicator, I put it on my resume, ding, I'm done. Well, what would I have gotten out of that? How would it have helped me to do that? Just give 10 half-assed speeches, and then I walk away with something I can put on my resume and tell people about. Cool. Why not instead we think of something else? A different solution. Why don't we drink out of the regular pipette with regular water? Something I started to realize. And I started to realize this actually, I have one, raise your hand if you were at AFCAD, if you're one of my knobs. There it is, there it is. Something I started to realize at AFCAD, when I was actually put in charge of a squad of knobs. There's something more to this. There's something more to what we're doing here than just looking really nice and being the best whatever you can be. There's something more to this. I took charge of a squad of knobs, and they became my own, because they looked up to me, they said, and they still talk to me, they said, oh, Mr. Barber, what's up? What's up? But they respect me. And they respected me because I cared about them, and that's where it clicked, where I finally said, that's what it is. I was thinking too much of myself last year. I was thinking, yeah, I'll get battalion commander or something later one day. Yeah, I'll do all this, I'll do all that. But what was it worth if I didn't make an impact on somebody's life? What is a resume worth if it didn't make people's lives better? Resumes don't build people. Things don't make people. They don't make us who we are. We are not the sum of our achievements. We are the sum of what we have done for others. We are the sum of the love that we put out into the world. And that's what I didn't realize last year. That's what I didn't get. It was a fundamental flaw that I had. So this year has been learning. I've been learning about this. And I realized, you know what? A lot of these things don't matter. These things, these basic things, just getting stuff, it doesn't matter. So here's my commitment from me to you. Maybe you can join me too on the way. Instead of thinking about these things, instead of thinking about myself, I'm going to think about what's really important. It's thinking about Knob Classroom. It's thinking about Knob Deckel, excuse me, Junior Deckel. Martinez, Miss Del Porto, your president right here. My AFCAD knobs. That's the people I should think about. That's the people we should love, because there is nothing greater in this world than the love you can show for others. And no amount of grades, no amount of PT scores, no amount of anything is going to top any of that you can do. Some of the best, greatest leaders we had were people who had the worst grades, the worst scores on everything, but they led. They made people's lives better because they knew there was something better, something greater than just getting that fix for achievement, or for beauty, or for anything else. So I'll leave you with this. I'm done with that. I'm done with things that don't matter. And now it's time to start focusing on things that do. All of you, and the people I've never met, that I will help one day. Thank you.